I'm Deandra Reviews. Check out deandrareviewsitall.com, where I review entertainment for the light it gives. Today's Reiki session is dedicated to the gray man and confronting the real villain of your life. I felt very complicated about this film, but before we get into everything, again, check out deandrareviewsitall.com. Deandra Reviews, Deandra Reviews, Deandra Reviews, Deandra Reviews. You might hear a little music in the back. That is my new song, No Bad Last, out now. And it kind of relates to the gray man about kind of confronting our exhaustion with life, to make better choices, to feel revived. And I know that you may not think that that's the theme of The Gray Man. Check it out. It's out on Netflix. It's with Ryan Gosling. He plays Six, a kind of covert ops agent that the CIA hires when they can't really go out and do the deed themselves. And when we meet him, Billy Bob Thornton's character kind of enters his life. He's 19 and he's in jail. I'm going to use this Sacred Heart scraper to kind of scrape through your aura all the negativity. Because here's where I got really bothered by the gray man and why I dedicate this Reiki to kind of making better choices, including who we let into our lives or how long we let them stay. When we meet Six, he is charged with having killed his dad, who was an abusive person and was about to kill his brother. He's 19. I believe he's already been in jail for like 6 years. And he's basically going to be there at least for another 20 for what he did. Even though what he did was in self-defense and was in a situation of, I had no choice. It was my brother or this man. And what always bothered me about Billy Bob's character, I'm blanking on his name, so unprofessional, was that he worked in recruiting criminals that had no chance of getting out of jail, or at the very least had an element of, you're going to stay here a really long time when you don't deserve to. You may be a criminal, but you're not that criminal, you know? You're guilty, but you're not the greatest sinner. And so often in our society, we confuse sin for crime and crimes for sin, and they can be separate. Some sins are crimes, some crimes are not sins. And when we meet Six, we know he's committed a crime. We know there's an element of sin, but at the same time, we know he was put in a horrible situation by his dad. And knowing this child's innocence, because he's 19, I just felt really raw about Billy Bob's role. Billy Bob's, I really got to figure out his character's name. But I felt raw about his character's role because I just thought to myself, here you are, an old wealthy man working for the CIA, recruiting criminals that aren't that criminal. And you take this 19-year-old kid that has been abused all his life and say, I give you your freedom as long as I'm your new prison guard. And it made me feel bad because I think an element, I want you to feel this in your heart chakra, because this is where the feelings come from and are about to be let out. I think a lot of us know what it is to be put in a bad situation. What it is to be put in a situation where we feel we have no choice, or at least no good choices. I mean, at the end of the day, Six was going to stay in jail for 20 years. He's 19 and this guy says I could work for like a CIA and end who we perceive are bad guys. Of course I'm going to take it. I'll get to travel. I'll get money. I'll get clothes. I'll get proper food. But if you know that the kid is innocent, if you know he's not a bad kid, are you really giving him an option for freedom? And that's what I kept on thinking of as one thing that I really liked about The Gray Man is, first of all, Six, Ryan Gosling is an excellent action hero. Absolutely excellent. This film deserves a sequel, will get a sequel, and immediately you're like, I can watch this guy 20 million times. And I don't know if nowadays we really have that beyond comic book films. We don't really get too many Indiana Jones, Jack Ryans. I can't recall another character in modern media right now beyond comic books that is an action hero that I'm just like, yes, let me see you again. Let me see you again. Even Brendan Fraser in The Mummy was like, what, 20 years ago? Tom Cruise, I mean, he's an action hero, but new action heroes, ones that can do 4 or 5 sequels, I don't really feel that. I don't feel that. And I felt that with Ryan Gosling as Six. Like, I could watch you 3,000 times. I want to see more of your adventures. And that instant connection with him carries you through the film and makes you protective of him, because part of why this film thrives is that he has so many enemies, so many people willing to make him expendable. Even when they say they love him, even when they say they trust him, even when they say you're a good guy, they all have interests. They're trying to protect their own family. They're trying to protect their own careers, like Ana de Armas' character, who I also felt, in the end, she kind of makes this agreement with the villains, who are played by Jean Roget, I believe is his name, Bridgerton. She makes a deal with the villains and kind of says, I'll keep my job, make sure that little girl that was kidnapped never gets hurt. And there's nobody protecting Six but Six. And I felt that reality is so interconnected with how a lot of us feel. A lot of us feel alone. And even though we are loved and can be loving, who protects us? Where does our safety lie beyond our own hands? Do the people that love us, would they choose their own interests over us? Would they choose to protect themselves over us? What situation would they invite in that would make them have to choose that? We wonder that. And I felt for Six, because of course it's a situation of, international borders and violence and lies, governmental lies and secrets. It's a rather extreme situation in terms of, oh my God, I just want you to feel all the feelings, all the love, all the safety. It's a rather extreme situation in terms of betrayal and putting people who you love and love you in a situation of loyalty and trust. But at the same time, I couldn't help but feel really bad and really bound to his character, because he was so smart, because he was so savvy, and he was so sentimental and loyal to everybody that betrayed him, including Billy Bob and Ana de Armas' character. And I think that made him so appealing as an action star, because it gave him a moral code that we don't even think about is necessary for an action superstar. Indiana Jones, Rick by Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. These are characters that weren't just able to kick butt, they were also able to, I want to say, have honor. They were good guys. I want to they were good guys. They were good human beings that could end villains physically and morally. And sometimes we don't really feel like that in this world. We feel like we're ended in both ways. Or like, even if I have the right argument, you have the fists. Did you ever feel like that? Especially when you watch reality TV? Like, it's always the loud person that wins, or the one that throws the punch, and everybody's like, whoa! The one who has the meanest comment is considered the smartest person. And I don't know. It was just really cool to see a character that was so betrayed, so abandoned, be so smart, be so thoughtful, be so kind, and do the right thing always. And even if he had to pay the worst price, and he did. He really did. It's not the happiest of endings, but you get the feeling of he's lived a life with a lot of unhappy endings, but he always tried to start right. And that's honor, and that's an action superstar. So check out The Gray Man on Netflix, and I hope that this, I know you just see me fluffing your aura and scraping it with this sacred heart, but this tool is really important to me, and it's all about feeling good and feeling safe and feeling like if I'm on my own, then let me love me. Let me be my best friend. Let me defend me. Let me have my own back. He may not have the greatest life, but he protects himself in every way and holds a code. And that makes Six one of the coolest action stars I've seen in a long time. So check out The Gray Man and check out theandrewreviewsitall.com for more reviews and entertainment. All right. And No Bad Lass, my new single. Check it out. Give comments, subscribe.